Lab number 13, we're going to be solving a radical equation. So the first step in solving any radical equation is to attempt to isolate the radical and get everything else on the other side. So first step for this one, we have a square root of 2x minus 1. That is the part that is the radical, so we want to isolate that part. We're subtracting x, and it's equal to -2. So the first thing that I would do would be add x in order to isolate this radical. So we get the square root of 2x minus 1 is equal to x minus 2. And because it's a square root, in order to undo a square root, you square both sides. We're going to square both sides. If it were a cubed root, you would cube both sides. A fourth root, you would put both sides to the fourth power. Because it's a square root, we're going to square. And then on the left side, that works out wonderfully and gets rid of the square root and gives us 2x minus 1. But on the right-hand side, we have x minus 2 squared, which is x minus 2 times x minus 2. And we need to work that out and distribute. X times x is x squared. X times -2 is -2x. -2 times x is another -2x. And then a positive 4. Here we have 2x minus 1 still on the left side. We can simplify the right-hand side. X squared minus 4x plus 4. And because we have x squared in the equation, that means we need to get this problem equal to 0 so that we can utilize quadratic formula or factoring in order to solve this equation. So first step would be to move the 2x minus 1 over here with the x squared minus 4x plus 4. That's the shortest root. So that's the method I'm going to use. So I'm going to subtract 2x and add 1. So that's going to get a 0 there. X squared minus 6x plus 5. And I have options here. I can use it factoring or quadratic formula. If I use factoring, I'm going to use the x method. Multiply to be 5 and add to be -6. This one does factor. If it did not factor, I would be forced to use quadratic formula, which is not bad, but this one does factor, so it makes it a little bit easier. So that would be -5 times -1. So the factors are x minus 5 and x minus 1. So we set each of those equal to 0. Solve those, we get x equals 5 and x equals 1. Now with radical equations, we have to check for extraneous solutions, so we need to plug those in to the original problem to check them. The original problem appears. Copy that, bring it down so that we can check those. If I plug in 5, it would be the square root of 2 times 5 minus 1 minus 5. And the question is, does that equal -2? We'll work that out. So that's going to be the square root of 10 minus 1. That would be square root of 9 minus 5. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 minus 5 is -2. That is correct. Let's do the same thing here with the positive 1. 2 times 1 minus 1 under the square root minus 1. Does that equal -2? That's what we're checking. So that's going to be the square root of 2 minus 1. So that's going to be square root of 1 minus 1. Square root of 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. That does not equal -2. So x equals 1 is an extraneous solution. So the only solution we have for this problem is x equals 5. And that is lab number 13 for Math 110.